Are you ready to be part of a journey of inspiration and connection? Do you have a goosebump tingling tale that shook your world? Share your story here on Divinely Connected. I, your host and medium, Ange McClellan, know the power that our words and experience hold. By sharing our stories of intuition, connection, and synchronicity, it validates and allows others to trust in theirs. We have started a new series, Storytime Sunday, where I will be featuring and sharing your words and hope that they bring comfort and confidence to our listeners. If you have an experience you want to share, head over to angemcclellan.com/share your story. Hi, I am your host and medium, Ange McClellan, and welcome to Storytime Sunday. Now get comfy, get that cup of tea, cup of joe, have a little sippy sip. Wherever you are, take in this beautiful, goosebump tingling tale that was submitted to us from Carol Ann. She writes, in 1988, I was married to my high school sweetheart, who was in the military, and I was the mother of twin boys. From January to June of that year, I had the same reoccurring dream. I dreamed that a very tall man in the military uniform was knocking on my door. When he entered my house in my dream, he told me that my husband was killed in a military accident. I would wake up in a panic and tell myself that that wasn't real. Oh, goosebumps. My husband was on a military exercise that entire spring, and I didn't see much of him. In the early hours of June 8th, 1988, a knock came on my door in the wee hours of the morning. I thought it was the same stupid dream again. My parents, who were visiting at the time, came into my bedroom and told me I had to get up, that there was someone from the army to see me. I flew out of bed and head downstairs, and there, standing in my living room, was the tall man from my dreams. But there were others around him. I was sure that this was still a dream, but sadly, it was not. Word for word, my dream played out. We are so sorry to wake you, but we have to tell you that your husband was in a military accident while on exercise. I asked where he was and for them to take me to him. Then that final bit of information came. We are so sorry. Your husband was killed instantly. My twins were 8 months old. My husband was 23 years old. Oh my God, babies. I was 22. I can only feel now that my divine team was preparing me for that moment by showing me in my dreams what was to come. There's more. We went through the whole funeral rituals for New Brunswick, where we lived, and for Newfoundland, where we were from. I was asked if there was anyone in particular that should be in the Newfoundland funeral service or should attend the Newfoundland funeral service. And I, for some inexplicable reason, said, Corporal Sampson. I was told that he was on a different exercise and not available. And there was no one else that I could even think of. So the military made an exception and brought Corporal Sampson in from the field, kicking and screaming, because of course he didn't want to go to a funeral, right? The exercise that he was on was what they call a live fire exercise with live mortar rounds. So with him out of the field, somebody else had to take his place. And during that exercise, something terribly went wrong. And the live mortar landed and exploded right where Corporal Sampson would have been standing. His replacement took the brunt of the mishap and ended up being medically released from the military. So what happened to Corporal Sampson? Well, he and I found each other, and we knew immediately that we were meant for each other. My God, I have the goosebumps. We couldn't explain it other than divine intervention was at play, and my gut feeling for him to be at my late husband's funeral what led him to becoming my husband. Oh my God, the goosebumps, I can't even concentrate. We are still together and going strong as ever, nearly 36 years later. He tells me from time to time that I saved his life at that time. Absolutely incredible. I have goosebumps from head to toe. This is such an amazing representation of divine intervention, of soul contracts, of how the universe, our loved ones, our angels continuously show up for us. And I want to do a little bit of a deep dive here, okay? Because I want to break this down so that you fully understand, because I love this about my job, is that I often will walk away from people's readings and be like, oh my God, that is incredible. How? In such a devastating season in life, the universe, your angels, your loved ones show up for you in the most amazing and profound ways. Not only did she have preparation, not only did she have a heads up that this accident was going to happen, that allows you to start to emotionally prepare whether you realize that or not. It also brings through a lot of validation that if we seen it before it was happening, then it was meant to happen. And often misinterpreted as we should have been able to prevent, but that is not our job. We are not God. When we get the heads up, the premonitions, the dreams, it is never for us to be able to prevent a departure. The departure comes in only because the departure was meant to happen. Okay. Then, not only the dream was preparing, but for her parents to be there, for her to have emotional support, duty support, having those twin babies, those twin baby boys, having her parents there as she receives the worst news of her life, to be a widow at 22 with twin boys, that is overwhelming in of itself. To have the parents there to help her, support her, and navigate the next steps, the funeral planning, the decisions that need to be made, and purely just the care of those boys. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Then, then, right? Having that intuitive nudge in rigidness to say, no, I want Corporal Sampson there. There's no one else to be there. I can't even think of another name. I can relate to this because when I'm, channeling spirit, I always say they take my thoughts and they give me their words. I often will forget people's names and certain words because I'm not meant to say them. So the fact that she couldn't even think of anyone else, that it had to be Corporal Sampson, right? I totally understand that. I can totally feel that, right? And then, right? To save him from such a devastating accident. You cannot deny divine intervention here, right? And then to fall in love and spend the next 36 and counting years together, absolutely amazing. And it's not disrespectful to the first husband. And this is something that comes up a lot in readings as well. You would not believe how often, more times than not, that the departed loved one is picking out your next spouse. They pick them out for you because they don't want you to be alone. They don't want you without love. They don't want you hurting. And it usually is one of two ways. One, it is a mutual, meaning that they know your departed loved one and there's shared memories and conversation and respect. Or two, they themselves have lost a spouse. So they firsthand know and understand that type of loss. And what happens in both situations is that there's no jealousy. There's no feeling like we can't talk about our past loved one because there's such deep respect and understanding and not feeling threatened. So it really allows for a beautiful connection and relationship coming in. And a really beautiful way that your departed loved ones will make sure that you are taken care of here in this physical form. Now, so much beauty and so much love and so much support in one of Carol Ann's worst days of her life. It just speaks volumes. We don't get to be vetoed in this life of having challenging experiences, but there's always love and support from the other side to help us through it. And this story that Carol Ann so beautifully shared with us is absolutely a reflection of just that. Absolutely amazing. I still have goosebumps. I just love being able to see the connections and the synchronicities and all the ways that we are loved and supported that we may not recognize in real time. You may be listening to this and maybe feeling a little jealousy or maybe even a little envy, but take the time to reflect in your life of all the ways that your helpers have shown up, all the ways that blessings show up for you. You oftentimes, because of the human makeup, is that we rarely have that awareness as we're going through it. And I'm sure if we talk to Carol Ann 36 years later, it would not have the profound insight that it does now. But use this story, use this tangible experience that Carol Ann shared with us as an inspiration, as validation, as reassurance that even if you're not seeing it, even if you're not seeing the connections, even if you're not seeing the synchronicities just yet, that you too are being so loved and supported from the other side, and that you too will eventually find and see the tapestry and the magic in your life. Don't forget to come back next Sunday for Sunday's story time. Thank you for joining me on this journey of connection and love. As we conclude another episode, I want to express my deepest gratitude to you. To be able to do this work, it is a profound privilege for me. I have learned so much through my connections with you in spirit. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your spiritual journey. And thank you for being a part of mine. Remember, the connections with your departed loved ones are timeless and eternal. May the messages shared here bring you comfort, healing, and a renewed sense of hope. I'll leave that with you. May you walk in the light of love and know that you are always divinely connected. I am Ange McClellan, your host and medium, sending you light and love always.